Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for coming today. My name is Daphne, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of HeronAI. And I believe that companies like yours, with all of your resources, affect change on a global scale every single day. But are those resources being utilized as effectively as they possibly could be? What if I were to tell you that in the next decade, 75% of accountants plan to retire? Who here relies on accounting professionals? I know that I do. So this is actually going to leave a really large gap in business analytics. And so let me give you a quick example. My friend Steve, he's a VP at a Fortune 100 company. He oversees about 200 staff and a $500 million budget. And even Steve is having issues generating reports for a quarterly meeting. Steve is already seeing turnover in his financial analysts and accountants. And because of this, it's now taking Steve about 4 months to generate reports that should take less than a week. With Steve, he has over a dozen people that work with him, and what ends up happening is he gets about a 5-inch thick binder with 150 different tabs, and this all culminates with the CEO flying in, 100 senior executives coming to the table. They go line by line through these documents to make decisions about their company. Does this sound familiar to anybody here? And even after all of this, it still takes a lot of time to actually implement these decisions. So I know that I was like Steve when I was in my first company. I was generating literally gigabytes of data to try to understand the health of my business, the health of my clients' businesses, and it was taking too much time. And I have a PhD in this stuff. And because of that, I decided to do what any sane person would do, and I built my own platform. This platform the point of it was to expedite my analytics. So there was a client portal, clients could sign in, and within seconds, they would be able to see how things were going with their business based on the services that we were providing. Today, we call this HeronAI. HeronAI is able to connect with over 150 different sources, including legacy systems that you may be using. One other benefit of HeronAI is that we actually have the ability to analyze, clean, and visualize Excel data, and this can be done in under 5 minutes. On top of that, when we are able to ingest the data, we have a proprietary method that cleans your data, whether it's from an API or from an Excel sheet. From there, it will analyze that data, also using proprietary methods, and then it will be able to generate customized dashboards and also reports. And this is now all done within 5 minutes versus several months. So Steve decided to switch over to use HeronAI. He connected some of his legacy software, his Excel. He was able to connect that basically 5-inch thick binder. And what he was able to get out in less than 5 minutes was not only entire dashboards that he could now utilize to track how things were going in his department, he was also able to get some action items that were telling him where were his dependencies, where could he diversify his income, were there certain accounts receivables that he really needed to be paying attention to. And the best part of this is that he could sync his data at any point in time, and these action items would update, so that as he progressed, as he worked through these action items, now there were new ones so that he could continue to grow and focus on value creation. 81% of corporations still utilize legacy software and still utilize Excel today. I know that I absolutely do, and I'm sure that there are some people in this audience who do as well. If you're like me, if you're like Steve, you really want to get more insight out of this information, the super critical information that you're spending a lot of money and time collecting. Currently, we are looking for POCs. We are fully developed, and we're about to be SOC 2 compliant. We also are about 16% more accurate than the leading agentic software in the market because of some of the proprietary steps that we take. And so if you are somebody on this screen or maybe even in another industry, please find me and come talk to me. I would love to talk to you about how HeronAI could help drive some value creation and growth for you. Thank you so much and have a great day.